Folks, it's the Icon of Success show, and you're taking over radio with the money man, Don Blackwell, president of Icon of Success Global, where it's one stop to the top. We won't quit till we get there. The question is, do you want some? Do you want some? I'm joined today by a special guest, special friend. I like to call him an entertainment aficionado. His name would be Quincy Edwards, a.k.a. the Ninth Legend. Q, how you do this morning? And welcome to us.
I'm doing all right, Don. Thank you for that.
It is good to have you here today. And I guess I can call this segment, Who is Quincy Everest? Because I'm asking a whole bunch of questions about you because I want to know who you are. The world wants to know who you are. We all want to know who Quincy Edwards is. So let me tell you, first of all, give me a snapshot of what all you do.
Try to put my hand in all pots, man. Shoot videos, produce, graphic design, engineering. Pretty much got my hand in the pot.
That's kind of why I call you an entertainment aficionado, because you make that stuff look easy, and things that most of us struggle with and we get scared of and just run away from, like, I can't do that. You do it in your sleep. So I love that about you. Keep that going, sir. Keep that going, sir. My question for you, first and foremost, how long have you been making music?
About 22 years.
Wait a minute, you're barely 22 years old. Really? Come on, man. Tell the truth. You ain't about to 20. Really?
Yeah, 22. 8 to 14.
Oh, my gracious. I love it. Who inspired you to start music? And what kind of music do you do?
My uncle inspired me. I make hip-hop music, universal music for everybody to listen to. It ain't really no genre. I feel like it's all genres incorporated in one.
You said your uncle inspired you. What did he do to inspire you? Tell me about your uncle and give him a first name.
Jose Carter, my mother's brother. Jose
what did
Carter.
Uncle Jose do? He
came back from the military, and I was out in the streets getting in trouble, doing my thing, running around. Pretty much just had dead time, need to do something constructive. And I had to go with my kid in Uncle Jose's house, and Uncle being there playing his keyboard. He had a little studio. It was analog then, you know, it wasn't all computer and digitized and digitalized and all that now. But he just play his keyboard, and I go over there, sit down with him. Next thing you know, I started like, man, hold on, I want to learn how to do that. Started sitting up under my uncle. Had pride for like the first 2-3 days, you know. But after that, I asked him, "Will you teach me?" He gave it to me, and I took it and ran with it.
You know, you sound very much like Little Ray Charles and the guy that taught him the piano.
Yes, sir.
That's very similar to that story, except you can see. He couldn't see, but he did have a mentor there that taught him the piano because you had to have that done. Now, you've been in this game for 22 years, but at some point in time, you're going to leave the game. What mark do you want to leave on the world as you leave this game?
You can achieve anything you put your mind to. Whatever's working for you, stick with it. Don't let people dictate your sound or who you are, or put you in a situation where you have to conform. Just be you, be energetic, be creative. What's on your heart, let it out. I want to leave that mark to say Knife did it his way. I admired the greats. I learned from many, but I still had my own lane. I stayed in my own lane, and I was true to myself, stayed true to my music. You know, just left that kind of mark. Just be true to yourself, man. Be you.
And that's what it's about. And I like that because first you have to find you. It took me years to find me. It took me years to figure out, what's my phrase, who I was supposed to be when I got all grown up. It took me a while because the money man didn't just come out naturally. He didn't show up until around the 30s, probably mid to later 30s, believe it or not. But he finally got there because it took a while to figure it out. Now, when is your next album dropping?
Actually, in the AM on my birthday.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot. You got a birthday. I'm sorry. Oh, let's get this right. You got a birthday, and I got a strop. Yes. You've got a birthday, and I've got a strop. We all got to meet together and make this happen. But you don't want none of the strop, though.
Nah, just give me my album. Let my album drop.
Just sure, because, you know, the strop is a whole different story. That brings it back to a man called Roosevelt. You ain't trying to meet my daddy and relive that strop. Because I got the same strop he beat me with as a child. I have that strop now. It comes out on birthdays and just on days that people aggravate me. It does come out and greet the world every now and then. So, and it still works. 50-some years later, it still works. Now, question for you. How is it balancing your everyday life with your music and filmmaking? How do you do that? Because that takes a big balance. And are you married? Do you have any kids? Tell us about you.
I got 3 little ones.
What ages?
20, 11, 4.
Say that again.
20, 11, and 4.
Okay, I gotta ask. You ain't old enough to have a kid 20 years old. How old are you? Yeah, I'm not. I know I'm not supposed to ask all these questions. I'm supposed to maintain privacy. I'm asking. How old are you that you got a 20-year-old kid?
We gonna say it like this. I'm legendary.
I like that. He's legendary. The 9th legend is legendary. I can handle that. Can I hit my bell?
Yeah, so hey, when you hit that bell, you see another white hair pop out.
Look, I feel bad for you, except for the fact at least you have hair. That's the difference between us. At least you have hair. You got more than I got. Good gracious. But it is a balancing act. And business is always a balancing act. In fact, what it takes, the skill sets to build a business, is a drive that most people aren't ready for. You have to move in ways that most people aren't expecting. In fact, they're looking for you to walk around, be it family occasions, etc. And you can't make all those things because you got stuff to do.
Yes, sir.
And so oftentimes people don't understand what you got going on and how you got going, but it's got to be done. Tell me about your mom. We heard about your daddy. Tell me about your mama. How's she doing?
She all right. She all right. She just taking things day to day like everybody else. I appreciate you asking too. Just being a strong woman she is, just steady. I'm going to her. She dropping wisdom on me. Got projects coming out, anything I'm working on. She get insight, input. #1 fan pushing me back. Just mama. She doing good though. Just taking things day to day.
One of the things I like about you is that for the last 3 days, you've been out helping mama specifically, because you're not one of those kids that just disappear and don't reach out. You reach out to mom and help on a regular basis. I can tell I'm just looking at you, because people don't have to tell you what to do, folks. Just watch what they do. Just watch them. And you're seeing what I've been seeing is you're a pretty good son. I like that. An excellent son. Because an excellent son takes care of mama, daddy, and whoever they have to, because let's face it, they brought us in this world. It's our job to take care of them and see them out safely.
You're right. Give them the flowers while they're here.
Give them the flowers while they're here. Take care of them for whatever they need, whether reasonable or not. And I think it's biblical. It said honor their mother and their father. And notice it didn't say honor them if you like how they raised you.
Exactly.
Honor them because of the position they hold in your life. They brought you here. Whether they do it right, whether they do it wrong, whether they do it well or not, honor them. And that's what you're doing. When your mama calls, you are there. You move what you have to, because why? That's mama. You ain't got but one. My mom died when I was in 9th grade. I'd love to have a mama that I could go help every day and aggravate me. I'd love to have that. So nicely, that's definitely a bell on that one. Nicely done, sir. I like it. Now, you also, in addition to music, you're into film, because I first met you in film. In fact, I was in the radio station, and I saw a little joker come in. He didn't say hey to nobody. He barely waved. He started filming and walking around. You're filming from all different angles. And I said, #1, who is he? And I know it's one of the most focused people I've ever seen in my life, called the 9th legend, aka Quincy Edwards. So what's the next film project you're working on?
Right now I'm in the process of working on a film called 74.
What's it called again?
74.
74. Absolutely. Because I went walking again this morning. There's a little park. And I saw that little thing still hanging on the fence, this little trinket that's shiny. And I thought about your last movie, and I still ain't touching that thing. Every time I see that thing, I walk on by it. I'm not going to touch it, because this last movie, folks, it was wild. I looked at it, and no. That movie taught me don't pick up nothing that ain't yours, because you don't know what spirits come with it. That's called making an impact, sir. You've made an impact. And how is Sister Hope doing?
She's doing good. She actually in my next film. She's just working with me on the next film. She got a major role in it.
Excellent, because Hope is one of the primary stars, and she's a beautiful lady, beautiful young lady. I don't know if I want to say young lady or not, because You got a kid 20, because I don't know what your age is, and I might not know where it's
let's just say legendary. That's the word for the day.
Now, you recently had a death in your family. Heard you lost a close family member here lately. Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate
it.
I
hope that the family recovers well. How you doing with all that?
I have my moments. When I have my moments, I'm still having them. You know, not understanding, you don't question God. But just taking, what I knew about her, how I loved her ambition, and putting it on my back to be inspiration and motivation and some gas and some energy towards my inspiration. She wanted to do her nail salon. She wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to continue being a stronger entrepreneur. It just gave me a little bit more push. There's pretty much nothing you can say. You just pray, try to pick up the pieces around the family. Those that are down, pick their head up. You have your moments between family, frustration, people taking things out on each other, but we've coped well and came together collectively. And for the most part, we just still standing as a family. And the number one thing, just remembering Ivy and representing her and coming together, putting our differences aside just for that level, to embrace her and let her know that we love her and we're here for her. And that album is dedicated to her tomorrow. Matter of fact, dedicate that album to her.
Absolutely. Oftentimes as male, you don't get the chance to grieve as much because you're so busy taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's the way I was when my father died. I was taking care of everything because I didn't have time to even settle down. I was holding his hand when he took his last breath. I didn't have time to settle down to feel bad because I was taking care of everybody else, taking care of arrangements, taking care of all that stuff. But then once all the quote unquote lights died, then I could settle down and begin to take care of me. Be sure to take care of you and acknowledge your grieving cycle. Everybody has one. It's different for every person. I can tell you mine's right about 4 years. In 4 years, I go from being sad to thinking about you and smiling about the good time we had. It takes about a 4-year cycle to where the sadness just completely leaves and just joy thinking of that person. And that's for my mama, my daddy, my sister, all of it. It's just about 4 years. I'm a 4-year guy, I can tell you. But take your time and process through that. Remember the person for the good they brought into your life. Now close your eyes for a second and picture you moved advanced for 10 years. What do you see when you open your eyes back up 10 years later? Who is Quincy?
Open my eyes and speak.
Open your eyes and speak.
10 years from now, big film director. Been then crawled and went through all my tribulations. I know tribulations gonna always be there, but I got a plan said 10 years from now, man. I'm on with this film. I'm giving back with the music any way I can. Rather, I'm not rhyming. I'm not going to be rhyming. If I can produce beats to help, the next generation, just be inspiration. But my main thing is with the filming, I pretty much just want that.
Absolutely.
And excuse me. I want to try to start my own label within the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
On a record label.
But you're so small right now. People always say, you're so small right now. Well, guess what? The mightiest oak that's out there started as a seed.
That's all you want.
It always starts as a seed. Tyler Perry started as a seed. It's always a seed. Don't ever begrudge the seed stage. That's where you grow and you pick up your skills. That's where you get your scars. Scars, folks, mean that you have lived through something. You went through something, you survived. That's where scars come from, okay? People didn't have scars, they died. You lived through whatever it was, and you came through and you came out stronger. So I love that. And keep those goals alive and keep walking towards it every single day, one day at a time. Now, we're sitting here on video because we are still in a pandemic. COVID-19, which I simply call the Rona. The Rona is all over the place, doing it do and acting like it act. How have you been handling going through the Rona, and how's it affected your business and what you do?
That really. In the aspect, I've been pretty much. I was in the house anyway. I stay to myself a lot, chill by myself. Certain people I go see, pretty much alone anyway. Stay up in the house. It pretty much made me more productive. Red Ruby Turbulence, the thought of it, the concept came up sitting in Corona, sitting in the pandemic. It pretty much helped me out. Make a long story short, I can create in one spot. Wherever I'm sitting at, I'm going to create. So I wouldn't say it affected me. It's affected me towards my visual as far as getting out in the city and being in certain venues and things like that. I can't go to those destinations, but as far as being creative, I'm going to always be creative.
Where your creative goes to any destination your mind can see.
Yes, sir.
So I like that. And that's a part of business too. You have to be able to mold yourself for your current conditions and keep on moving forward. Some people can, some people can't. I'm glad you got that skill set to do that. So I love it, folks. Because we're talking to Quincy Edwards. And before I forget, find this man on Facebook, find this man on Instagram, find this man on YouTube. Those things are streaming at the bottom of your screen. Make sure you make contact with him because he's a super dude and very good at what he does in the film, in the music, at all. But I want to talk about something personal for you. Why did you name your new album Godfidence? Because see, that's got a personal meaning to it. That's got a value-driven Godfidence. Tell me about it.
Godfidence. You know, you put your faith in man. Man will fail you. Man's word is confidence, right?
Yeah.
If I know where my strength comes from, why don't I speak with confidence? I know my strength comes from God. Speak with confidence. Don't use the man-made word. It's called being different. Everybody else, I'm confident. I'm going to use confidence. Nah, my strength comes from above, not man. Speak with confidence.
That means you walk where others can't walk.
Yes, sir.
You walk not in fear.
Yes, sir.
And you go, even when you don't understand. That's the thing I love about that, because a God-fearing person, and I don't mean a fake God-fearing person, a real God-fearing person doesn't have to have all the answers and know all the pieces. They just need to know the direction. They walk and understand the rest of the pieces will come as they walk. This we're inclined to walk. All you have to do is walking. So you're walking. I love that.
And it's part of understanding and knowing where your strength comes from. Mm-hmm. The strength comes from the Lord, God, man.
And that's a settled piece inside of you. I like that because that's a foundation. It's solid. That can't, how does the song go? I will not be moved. It will not be moved, which means you can't be moved. They can move your body. They can't move that strength inside of you at all. So I love that. Now, Quincy, how's the game music-wise different now than when it was when you first started?
Technology. Right. Back in the early 90s, we had Cakewalk, Red Rum, Fruity Loops, 1 through 9. The MPC was coming out in 2000. Now you got Reasons and Pro Tools. Man, you pretty much just need a program. You don't even need keyboards and all the band instruments or the live instrumentation. You don't have to use that. Everything is digital. So it makes it easy to access. And pretty much if you're smart, you work smart, not hard, let the computer do the work. As long as you got an ear pretty much nowadays and know what button to push, you can do it. Back then, the OJs didn't have no computers. You know, when I was coming up, we didn't have no computer. Al Green them wasn't sitting in no big $1 million studios with the booth way over there. And the engineer sitting in here with a 64-track mixer like Dr. Dre them be using. They didn't have all that. So, the difference is technology. And, you got your artists these days still speaking substance. I wouldn't say, oh, they ain't rapping about nothing these days. I just think, you don't know no better when you ain't talking no better. If you ain't read, if you don't have a vocabulary, you need to upgrade. I mean, just depending on the individual. I wouldn't say, well, that artist, just because he's young, he don't know no better. Nah, it's something out there with knowledge. Just like you got old foods, young foods, so it balances. So I would just say the difference is technology, not the artist, because you can be young and wise, depending on how how you apply yourself and come at your art, man. But I choose substance over negativity every day. The substance in the music, because that's what got me wanting to do it, speak a message. I made plenty of mistakes in my life. I ain't gonna sit here and try to act like I'm perfect or I'm just the preacher of God. Nah. What I'm saying is I use my tribulations and what I've been through and my faults and tell these young ones, look, let my mistakes be your victim. Take heed to what I'm telling you. It's like a baton in life. You're running. Hey man, I'm trying to pass this to you. Some of them hard-headed ones don't want it. That's the difference. Yeah. You want it or you're not. Technology, man, it balances.
I love it. What do you do in your leisure time? You finally settle down. I know you because I know you and your type. When you settle down like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning before you finally settle down and chill, because I know because y'all work around the clock. So when that final time comes, said I'm cutting off the computer finally, I can't take it no more. What do you do in your leisure time? How do you wind down?
Go pick up with my mom. Come to my people crib, sit with them, shared ideas, you know, family. They're pretty much family, man. I go around the people that I hang with every day. That's in my everyday, and just be with them. Get my mind right. That's leisure time. It's family, man. All the other time is business. When it's leisure time, ain't nothing to do with family.
And I'm still gonna ask my question.
Yes, sir.
Because earlier you said the OJs and Al Green. You ain't old enough to know the OJs and Al Green. I'm just saying, IJS. I'm just saying. Who told you about it? Because Mama had to tell you about it, didn't she?
Yes, sir. Riding with my mother when I was younger. She was in the military, so coming back from Hawaii and we caught a plane in San Francisco. And my mother got in the car and she started to drive to Louisiana. I just remember sitting in my car seat. My mother playing that kind of music. And believe it or not, when I seen Get Rich or Die Trying and I seen 50 in the car with his mother, it kind of like took me back to when I remember, like when my mama I was in my car seat back with McDonald's fries and she whooping your butt because you don't tell you not to put them in the seat or spill them in the seat them days.
It ain't gonna happen.
My uncle Jose, he had a collection 45s. I was going through them, just nosy. He showed me a little bit, left me in the room. I was going through his collection. I seen the Jackson 5s, I seen Earth, Wind and Fire, the Gap Band, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Bobby Womack, Stylistic, the Whispers, the Commodores. Just got old, and it just been embedded in me. It ain't something that I wouldn't say I came up on. It was just around the oldest, the eldest, the ancient ones in my family.
I'm thinking you might just be an old soul, because there are some old souls out there.
Yes, sir, but I think I was taught to be one. I don't think I just had it wasn't in me. I ain't gonna discredit my mother and my uncle and people that was around.
Oh, it was in you, because if it's not in you, even though you're sitting around on stuff, you wouldn't gravitate to it. It wouldn't grab onto it. It has to be in you for you to grab onto it. They had to play it and support it, but you had to grab it. Well, you grabbed it. No, so
my mother was getting down to it. You couldn't. You didn't have to grab it. She was giving it to you.
That's right. I like it. Lastly, are there any shout outs, any acknowledgments you want to give to anybody that's been special in your life? Now is your time.
Let me see. I'm going to say rest in peace to all my deceased first. I'm going to give credit to them, my family members, all the deceased. Quest, what's up? All the mama, grandmama, people that's been supporting me consistently through the years, fans, people that's seen me fall and just supporting me through my ups and downs, believing in me and my music. Much love to y'all DJs, playing the music. I thank Icon of Success Global, Mr. Dunn for having me on the show. My mother and my family. I'll be there all day naming family members, but from Shreveport, Texas, North Carolina, Louisiana, up and down. You know how it go, man. Just shout out to my family, people that's been supporting me, my fans, DJs play my music. The people that's been helping me with my movies. Just anybody just supporting what I do. Helping me get it done, you know what I'm saying? Just send a shout out to them people like that. You know who you are, man.
Quincy, I've absolutely enjoyed meeting you today. Let's see if I can describe what I've heard thus far. I've met a man of vision, a man of passion, a man of values, a man of God, a man of talent, a man of skills. I've met a man today. It has been my pleasure to interview you this day. And I look forward to us talking many, many times from this point forward. Thank you very, very much. And if I may ask, can I bring you on my show one day? Because I'd love to have you back again.
Man, it's a pleasure being on your show right now. Yeah, you can bring me on, Mr. Dunn.
All right, Brother Quincy. Thank you very much. Go do what you do, boy. because I definitely appreciate you. The Money Man, the Money Team, Icon Success Global, we're out. How was that, Q?